In what began as an ordinary security briefing, President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso stumbled upon a revelation so explosive it would shake regional alliances and thrust the small West African nation into the heart of a global espionage scandal. It started when Defense Minister Traoré burst into the presidential office, visibly shaken, holding a folder stamped "Urgent Eyes Only." As Traoré set aside his morning coffee, Traoré uttered a single line that would set the tone for everything to come. "Mr. President, we've intercepted something. This changes everything." Inside the file were encrypted communications, intercepted during a routine sweep. Transcripts, metadata, and technical schematics all pointed to one chilling source: Tel Aviv. The content wasn't from jihadist networks or rogue mercenaries, it was Israeli intelligence. Foreign operatives had been running covert missions inside Burkina Faso for years. The reports detailed surveillance operations at gold mines, including production data being transmitted without the knowledge of local officials. They showed evidence of eavesdropping on presidential communications, and most disturbing of all, recommended preemptive interventions against supposed Iranian arms shipments moving through the region, actions that could have sparked international conflict. Then came the most personal discovery, a psychological dossier on Ibrahim Traoré himself. It labeled him a critical threat and outlined neutralization options, code for removal, even assassination. The file had been drafted 2 months before he was even sworn in. But it didn't stop there. A photo in another folder struck the president at his core. His personal security advisor, Colonel David Outrage, the man who knew his children's names, who had dined at his table, was photographed shaking hands in a downtown cafe with an Israeli Mossad officer named Eli Roth. What followed was a rapid unraveling of trust. Memories came flooding back. Outrage's curiosity about meetings with Russian and Chinese envoys, his timely absences, his constant push to be involved in sensitive matters. For 8 months, Israel had been embedded in the president's inner circle, listening, watching, planning. Over the next 48 hours, a secret counterintelligence investigation uncovered even more disturbing truths. Surveillance equipment hidden in 3 cities. A data routing station transmitting all internet traffic through Israeli servers, and a hit list: 3 religious leaders in Burkina Faso who had publicly criticized Israeli policies in Gaza, already dead, officially blamed on jihadists. But the intercepted Israeli messages told another story. Targets eliminated, operations successful. For President Traoré, the line had been crossed. "They've declared war on Burkina Faso," he told his inner circle. At exactly 3:47 a.m., the retaliation began. In a stunningly coordinated operation, elite Burkinabe forces raided all known Israeli facilities in the country. President Traoré personally led the team targeting the main hub near the capital. Inside what appeared to be an ordinary telecommunications company was a fully operational Mossad station, complete with assassination tools, forged passports, and thousands of classified files. Among them, the crown jewel, the Project New Canaan dossier, outlining an Israeli surveillance program spanning 12 African nations. Even more shocking, a plan for Traoré's assassination, scheduled for the following month, disguised as a helicopter malfunction. Within 72 hours, Traoré went public. He stood before a packed press conference, flanked by captured Israeli equipment and files. Calm, resolute, and unwavering, he addressed the world. "Today, we expose state terrorism. This was not defense. This was espionage, manipulation, and murder." He displayed intercepted Hebrew messages translated into English. The evidence was overwhelming. Satellite photos, surveillance transcripts, even confessions from captured operatives. Israel denied the allegations, but the denials collapsed under the weight of the documentation. More damaging, still other African nations began to find similar patterns. Mossad operatives expelled from Mali, listening posts dismantled in Niger, secret prisons uncovered in Chad. In the weeks that followed, an unprecedented political transformation swept the continent. 12 African nations expelled Israeli intelligence personnel. the African Union passed a sweeping resolution condemning foreign espionage and assassination operations on African soil. But the personal cost for Traoré was high. 3 attempts were made on his life in the following months. Colonel Ouedraogo, his once trusted aide, was found dead in his prison cell, a suspected silencing, ruled a suicide. The betrayal had struck deeper than bullets ever could. Still, Traoré remained undeterred. A year later, standing at the same podium, he addressed a continent awakened. They warned us that the price of independence would be too high, but the price of silence, of allowing foreign powers to murder our citizens and steal our future, that price was even higher. Behind him flew the flags of 12 African nations that had joined Burkina Faso in rejecting foreign interference. What started as a routine military report had evolved into the greatest counterintelligence victory on the African continent since independence. Traoré hadn't just survived the conspiracy, he had exposed a global network and forced the world to look at Africa not as prey, but as a rising force demanding respect. And through it all, he reminded the world, sovereignty is not a slogan, it's a stand.